Greetings and salutations. This is Andy Beeds, commander of the 506 Procrastination Battalion, and you are listening to the Escape Podcast. This show is recorded in front of a live studio audience. Can you pass me the maple syrup, please?
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with both having decades of hosting experience under their belt, the one thing we are sure of is you will be entertained. This is the Escape Podcast, a weekly look into the mobile game Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the Nerdy Network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Podcast.
There's a new ship on the holotables.
Yes, there is. The community asked and CG delivered.
No, they didn't, Paul.
Actually, they did, Neil.
No, they didn't, Paul.
All right. I'll explain. We're going to get into that this week. It looks like you and I are going to have a, what do you call it, a Donnybrook?
A powwow.
Okay.
It's actually a very busy week that we get to talk about.
You're not wrong. I mean, we got territory battles, we got conquests, we've got galactic challenges.
But don't forget GAC.
How could I with you right next to me?
Well, you know, we do have a lot of interesting QOL changes that have thrown up some interesting consequences for the non-participants in GAC.
Oh, yes. I loved it. There were some interesting screenshots floating around the galaxy far, far away for sure, especially because my wife benefited from it.
Well, this week's guests are old hats of the game, both prolific gackers. It's Tilo and Calvin from the Awesome Mad Show.
Actually, mad awesome show, but, you know, we won't get into that. The new episode of Dickie and the Noob premieres this week.
More bald story time.
Hey, leave that alone. And also anything else that we can squeeze into this 2-hour broadcast.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Escape Pod Cast. I'm your host, the Nev, and as always, I'm joined by my hetero life partner, Paul Anthony. Paul, how's your week? Because it's been kind of busy. It's been a busy week.
It's been a busy week, both in the game and in my personal life. I've been doing a bunch of work. Of course, I do admit that I do love my job. So, you know, it really hasn't been work, Bob. No, it's been a good week. We got Conquest started. We have TB. We've got
we got challenges on. We've got GAC on. There's just so much on. It's I must admit, I don't like these weeks when there's, you know, and I've seen people complain about it when GAC and territory battles and conquest are all, when those three are all running at the same time, people just kind of, I do genuinely think people tune out from one or the other. It's just too much. It really, really is too much, especially when you consider the time sink that GAC and conquest are. And territory battles isn't so much of a time sink because most people have already got, you know, their squad loadout. You know, they know what team they're taking in for what wave in what phase. But it's still, you've still got to do it manually because it's light side, isn't it? It's not like you can just, it's not like dark side GATP where you can take your team of relic characters, put it in and hit auto because we've all done it. You know, all right, maybe not, you can't, maybe not phase 4.
Phase 4, you can't, no.
phase 4, you still got to do manually.
And the special mission.
Yeah.
Your special mission.
No, not even the special.
The first special mission where you have to, you know, you get the B1 and all that. Yeah, The first special mission, you have to get past Shock T in phase 3.
Yeah. But 90% of Darkside GOTB, most people that if you've got, a bunch of decent relic teams, you can just do it. You cannot, though. You just can't. There's no way. Even if you had like relic 7 to 9 characters, you'd still have to do it manually. So, and that's the time sink for Lightside TB. I think if it was a Darkside GATB, probably wouldn't take people as much time, and there'd probably be less complaint about how much time people have to physically spend in the game. But
unless you're an officer and you're herding the cats.
It's yeah, exactly. So I mean, I'm not an officer or a guild leader or anything. I dread to think what a massive time sink it is for those people, because they've got to deal with their conquest, their GAC, and getting everybody in the guild to do what's needed to be done in order to get decent rewards. So yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I put nothing into Conquest anyway, do I? Because Conquest is dead to me.
Neil, though, I have noticed that it is a little quieter around here right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it is definitely.
Did you uninstall Bob?
No, I did not uninstall Bob. Did you uninstall Bob?
I did not uninstall Bob. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here.
Bob. But I could do a Star Trek. Hello, computer.
No, still not working.
Hello, computer.
But I do have to mention, and we do have to acknowledge that our friend Bones, he is currently taking care of his partner. They're in the hospital, and we wish them all the best. So
indeed, we do.
So it's okay. We'll rescan you, Bones, when you get back for the Bob application. So
absolutely.
By the way, Darknar, new player, and I know you love your new players, Neil. We want to give a shout out to him for unlocking Palpatine.
Yeah, you're gonna regret that when you go for C, because then he's got to go. It's not just 7 stars; it's relic 7, relic 7. Yeah.
Well, let's give him the little joy while he has it.
No joy for you. You may as well just take him straight to relic 7 right now, mate.
Gigan0 says TB doesn't even have a side icon for my cousin because there's too many things going on, so people can miss even thinking about it. Wow. And also good to see you, Gigan. Very one of my Yavin 4 guildmates. All right.
Territory battles is still good for rewards, because you need to get one and to get two. Everybody needs to get one and to get two.
Now let's see here. We've got what came to the game. Let's get through the kit before we debate the actual fact of this ship even existing.
Okay, I'm just going to get my pillow so that I can go to sleep, because
it is a light side support cargo ship, rebel scoundrel smuggler.
Sorry, what was that? Was that the R word?
Support what?
The tag.
Relic?
You said rebel.
Oh, rebel. Yes, rebel. I said rebel.
You see, as soon as you said rebel, I tuned out. As soon as I saw rebel, I tuned out.
We will get to that. It doesn't change the fact that it's in the game now. Its basic is illegal laser cannons, which, by the way, the art does shoot off the top and the bottom cannons, which is, special to Dash Rendar's Outrider in Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't notice, because every time someone's used it on a test stream, it gets destroyed almost immediately. So I didn't really notice that.
Its final text for its basic is deal physical damage 3 times to target enemy and inflict critical damage down for 2 turns. Special concealed concussion missiles with a cooldown of 4. Deals damage 5 times to target enemy and dispels all buffs on them and inflicts target lock for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. And each instance of damage reduces the target defense by 5% for the rest of the encounter, which that can't be resisted. And then all rebel allies gain 5% turn meter for each critical hit. By the way, thank you very much, Jib Foresight, for the follow during the show. We appreciate that. Special 2 for the Outrider has a cooldown of 3. All rebel allies recover 20% health. So it's a healing ship and protection, and gain speed up and tenacity for 1 turn. All rebel allies download progress is increased by 20%. And then progress starts at 0 and is increased by 1% whenever a rebel ally scores a critical hit, tripled if it's their turn, requires 100% download to download progress to activate download, which is then their special ability called Suprosa Supercomputer. The Outrider gains 60% critical, and it's unique. The Outrider gains 60% critical chance and the granted ability data transmission until it's defeated once per battle. Dispel all debuffs on rebel allies. So that once it has this unique that builds up, once you get to 100% download, it will dispel all debuffs on the rebel allies, recover 50% health and protection, once again healing, grant all rebel allies Suprosa Supercomputer for the rest of the encounter, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. If they're an attacker, they dispel stealth and taunt from all enemies at the start of their turn and inflict defense down for 1 turn on a random enemy. They don't even have to attack for that to happen. Tanks will recover 10% health and protection whenever they receive damage, so they heal immediately. And support, at the end of their turn, inflict target lock for 2 turns and remove 20% turn meter from a random enemy. So if you're down to 1 and Suprosa Supercomputer is going, every single time they're going to lose that thing. And the reinforcement, when they're called in, all rebel allies gain 20% download progress for each rebel reinforcement called in by the ally rebel ship this encounter. So you've got up to 5 reinforcements, right? Or 4 reinforcements.
Four.
So if you call him in last, he's entering with 60%. Not too shabby. But
Sorry. Say that entire sentence again. Just so that I can rebut what you're saying. Say the whole line.
If you
again.
call them in last with a full roster.
Oh, what? So if you call him in as the 4th ship,
the 4th reinforcement, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's the 7th ship on the field.
Zaz, give me 1 second. Zaz says, doesn't the tank ability heal all allies? You are correct. All rebel allies. I missed that. Yes, that does.
Okay.
That
No.
Mean...
I just want to be clear that you're saying that this would be great as a 7th ship for a rebel fleet.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, that is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. If you can get to it.
Or if you have 7 ships. To be honest with you, Neil. I mean, okay, let's... do you want to get into this for 15 minutes, or do you want to save it for segment 2?
I've got that much to say about this. There much castigation is about to occur regarding this ship. Okay, because it sucks. Nobody wanted this. Nobody wanted a rebel ship right now. We didn't. Nobody wanted a rebel ship. We wanted ships for every single other faction. Rebel was the only one we weren't. I cannot recall a conversation with anybody or a stream that I've watched with anybody in it where people, even in the chat, said, you know what we need? We need another rebel ship. we need another rebel ship right now. You know, we're desperate for ships. What we need is a rebel ship. Didn't, you know, said no one ever at the start of 2022.
Icehouse, thank you very much for the subscription during the show. We appreciate that. No, you know what, Neil? You are correct. No, I don't think anybody said that they wanted another rebel ship, because the rebel Home 1 is pretty damn good.
It's fine on its own. I mean, yeah, sure, it's going to struggle with it. Obviously, it struggles with Empire, because you know the TIE bomber came out.
Yeah, it's built to do that.
I mean, before the TIE bomber came out, it was fine. But then the TIE bomber came out, and the TIE bomber added some mechanics that just, you know, hey, rebels, screw you, you're not wiping us out anymore. So that was kind of understandable. But here's the thing. I don't think this ship adds no value, none, to the rebel fleet whatsoever. Zero value. And before anybody says, oh, I'd rather have this than have to relic Bistan and SRP, who are you people? Why would you need to relic them anyway? You only need to take them to Gear 11 to max out the abilities of Bistan's U-Wing, and that's fine. I have used mine, Gear 11, Gear 12. I've started with that in the lineup against Executors, and I have successfully been able to take out the Houndstooth. Granted, it doesn't take out the entire fleet, but that's not what, you know, that fleet is designed for. So it adds nothing. And here's the thing. Having watched people doing the test streams, there's only two ships people can test it on. Galactic Republic and the Executor. Because guess what? The fleet meta is that stale that nobody in the top 50 or even the top 100 puts in a fleet other than the Executor or Galactic Republic. So it's not like your average player can be like, oh, I've got a new toy. Let's go test it against a Finalizer and a Radus. You can't do that because nobody puts those fleets. Nobody uses those fleets. None. Zero. Niente.
Well,
which is why this ship sucks so hard.
It's not.
Come on, defend it. Defend it.
I am going to defend it because this is a lead up to something much bigger. In fact, Neil, you may have called this back in. Oh God, when was it? I'm recalling a stream. I think it was January of 2019.
Yeah, don't be saying stuff like that. That's just showing my age. Yes, I was doing content creation in January of 2019.
Let me jog your memory. Let me jog your memory by saying this. In this video, you gave us 15 ships that you wanted in the game.
Yes, I did.
And I think that this is leading people up to yet another rebel capital ship in the Tantive 4.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been nice back in 2019, but it's 2022. We were, you know, between when I was making those, you know, requests, I mean, there was 15 ships that I put in there, and only 2 of the 15 ships that I suggested actually came to the game, and that was the Emperor Shuttle. I called that one, and the Y-Wing, the Y-Wing bomber. The only other rebel ships that I'd included in there was the A-Wing and the B-Wing. Now, in order for
which
and here's the thing, I'm willing to concede that having the Tantive 4 as a rebel capital ship would be great. And then having a few more rebel ships would be great. But that's not what the game needs. It's completely and utterly useless.
It's exactly what the game needs, especially with how you were talking 2 weeks ago.
Nobody is going to spend on this ship. No one.
I disagree. People are going to spend on this ship because when the Tantive 4 comes out, I'm prognostication Paul here. When the Tantive 4 comes out, it downloaded the plans from Scarif. The whole download mechanism. This damn thing, this is going to break the Executor Fleet stranglehold. The Tantive 4 is going to come out. The Outrider is a cornerstone of it. It makes sense.
That still makes very little sense, because we don't have that just then means more ships will be needed.
Okay, let's quickly answer Zaz, who's asking, what is the Tantive 4? The Tantive 4 is seen at the beginning of A New Hope. It is the ship that Leia is on.
It's the Corellian Corvette.
It's the Corellian Corvette that Vader infiltrates to capture Princess Leia. So, there you go. But this is going to stop the Executor stranglehold. The Tantive 4 is going to do it. I'm calling it now. And here's the thing. You were complaining 2 weeks ago about, not complaining per se, but you were up in arms about the fact that Kyber has to now set 3 fleets. Now you have an extra capital ship. So
if that ship gets released, I just think that I really do think you're dreaming. I can't see. We don't need capital ships. But what we do need is 40 plus regular ships just to fill out fleets.
Fleets is the game of undersizing. It has always been the game of undersizing. You are known to do a Houndstooth and a TIE Bomber solo.
Yeah, but no, Hyena Bomber solo.
Hyena Bomber solo, still.
Yes, but nobody puts those defenses in anymore. No, I have not seen, I have not had the ability to do that since before they changed the format of GAC.
Dark Nar says, is Tantive 4 really a capital ship? It is the same size as Home 1.
No, it's not.
It's okay.
It's a core. I mean, it's a Corvette. It's not a capital ship, but it's big enough that you could, it's big enough that you could house. Think about it this way.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The Star Destroyer, the entire Corvette fits into the docking bay of a Star Destroyer, and obviously we've got 2 Star Destroyers there. So I would say it's probably. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still big. I mean, it's still it would still be like 10 to 20 times the size of, say, a Millennium Falcon. So it is a big ship, right? It's big and it's fast. It's just not as big or as fast as a Star Destroyer. We know that it suffers again. So, and that's why I'm saying
I am wrong. I am wrong. The MC-80 Star Cruiser, also known as Home 1, is 1,300 meters long. The length of the Tantive 4 is only 126 meters.
Exactly.
The X-Wing, thank you, Big Country Bags, for the subscription while we're live. The X-Wing game has taught me wrong. They have the Tantive 4 in that game, along with a frigate. The Home 1, the
medical frigate.
The medical frigate, yes.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me. I think you could do the Tantive 4 as like a tank, like as in a real tank. That would bolster. So making the Tantive 4 as close to as indestructible as the Houndstooth would make sense.
I'm looking up the size of the Houndstooth right now.
That would, I mean, the Houndstooth's probably only 25, 30 meters long.
50. 47.4.
And that's where I mean that it's not going to be a capital ship. If they bring the Tantive 4 in, it's still going to be a regular ship, and it would be a tank. And what it would probably be, Machine Gun Leia and I don't know, somebody else. Because it'd have to be a 3-crew ship. I think something as big as the Tantive 4 would have to be a 3-crew ship. But they would probably just use existing rebels that are in the game, you know?
Who would it be? Wow. Who would it be? Let's think about this, and we'll come up with who would be a 3-crew ship along with Princess Leia for the Tantive 4 coming up after this break right here on the Escape Pod cast. HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or territory wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
This week we have a guild classified that is near and dear to my heart, Yevon 4, the guild I grew up in. We are currently looking for some players to put us back at 50 members. If you are able to get your 600 per day, follow officer instructions for territory modes, and are looking for somewhere to call home, we'd like to talk to you. The ideal player would be a cam-ready player with a roster of at least 6 million. Our average player is over 7. This guild has become a family to me, and we'd love to have you join it. Head over to the Escape Podcast's Discord server and just message me, Paul Anthony, and let's see if you can come battle alongside us.
We want you. Join the GAC chain gang today. This is the commander of the 506 Procrastination Battalion and the leader of the GAC chain gang. I am sending out a call to action for any SWGOH content creators on Twitch who would be willing to broadcast their GAC attack rounds alongside some of our best, including Mr. Jigabachi, Dr. Zeppers, Rico 1982, and the Bounty Honeys. What is the Chain Gang, you ask? We are an amazing group of content creators who are dedicated on streaming the Grand Arena Championship attack rounds on Twitch. The idea is to provide continuous content back-to-back from one streamer to the next and allow viewers to enjoy more SWGOH content as well as enjoy the variety of streamers that are currently present in the group. If you are interested in joining the Chain Gang, please reach out to myself on Discord at AndyBees, #7465, or you can send us a message on our Twitter page at ChainGAC. Join us today. We have your back.
You're listening to the Escape Pod cast.
And we're right back, and we're going to continue talking about this useless ship that is being brought to the game because it is a useless ship. They're going to need to introduce a lot more rebel ships and a rebel capital ship in order to make this ship useful.
Okay.
And that's not what the game needs,
Neil,
unfortunately.
we're getting you claim that we're getting for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi.
Mhm.
You're saying that we're getting the ship rate at that point. I think we're getting the ship rate in October. The Tantive 4 or whatever other capital ship comes out is going to take... You're going to need Red 5, which we both agree that it should be the reward.
Yeah, the raid reward is, I mean, I think it's one of those, it's like Lord Vader. Everybody knew Lord Vader was going to be the GL after JMK. We all knew it. We all knew what he was going to look like. We knew it was going to be Lord Vader. Everybody knew that that was what was going to happen. So a ship raid reward, everybody is, I think 90% of the people that I've spoken to have said, yeah, you know, I can see Red 5 being the reward for a ship raid, because the ship raid is obviously going to be a Death Star raid. It's obviously going to be a Death Star raid.
All right. So Zaz, I actually went during the whole thing, commercial break, you and I were we're still arguing. We're still arguing at this point. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that it was at the battle that it was ever used in the Resistance. Apparently, it was at the Battle of Exegol, piloted by Nien Nunb, who perished in that battle when Palpatine's Force Lightning took out a bunch of ships.
Cascade says it is useless in your opinion, Atnev. No, it is objectively useless. I have not seen that ship win a single battle. Not one. I have not seen a rebel fleet with that ship in it win a single battle from all of the testing that I've observed. Not one single battle has it won. That makes it objectively useless because it hasn't added any value to the rebel ship in achieving victories over, opponents. And that's why I say it is useless.
Okay, in the developer insights, it says, what is the goal of the Outrider? Outrider's goal is similar to the recent additions of tanks to Radisson Finalizer. We aim to boost rebel fleets and tighten up the second and third tier metas. It's not meant for the top tier.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But you're complaining that it's not top tier.
I'm complaining exactly because it for those tiers, we don't need more rebel ships for those tiers. The rebel fleet, as it currently stands, does what it needs to do.
But don't you need more? All you have is 7 capital ships in this game, and 3 of them you got to put on defense if you're going to put a full defense down.
Yeah, which is why we shouldn't be getting rebel tag ships. We should be getting every other faction tag ships.
We need another capital ship.
First Order.
We need another capital ship. What other tag on a capital ship can support having an actual group?
No, that's. I'm not arguing for more capital ships. I'm arguing for more fighters. We don't need any more capital ships. We need more fighters.
We need one more capital ship to be able to split that whole rebel thing. You now have a total of 9 rebel ships. You got 5 and 4. As I said, ships is all about undersizing. How many can you get away with?
Rebels suck at undersized unless it's a cleanup. There are very, very few defenses that get put down, right? That you could 100% undersized. Now, and I'm going to make a very, very legitimate, valid point here, right? Kyber is the only league where you require 3 on defense and 3 on offense, right? So your argument regarding the necessity for more capital ships is completely and utterly irrelevant to everyone outside of Kyber. But what everybody in Kyber wants is more starfighters to add to all of the capital ships that they've got. I mean, there are some people in Kyber that don't have all the capital ships. I've got all the capital ships. I know lots of people that have all the capital ships, but not everybody does. And they're still chasing for capital ships, but what they need, and I guarantee you they still need starfighters.
Lizzie Jonko, one of our very, very good friends of the show. Naval battles require different sizes of capital ships. They're making the game more realistic, for instance, since the U.S. Navy does not have CVNs, but they do have DDGs and CGs, yes, and CGs. Yes, in-game, it would be great to have just Nev's capital ships, CVNs, but in reality, you need smaller capital ships as well as cheaper and quicker to build. I do agree that we need more fighters and bomber ships, though. So,
yeah, the standard capital ships, you know, the Executrix, Home One, and the Endurance, you know, those standard three that everybody pretty much gets relatively quickly right at the start of the game. That's fine. Then you've got your Get To ships, and then you've got your Executor, and then on top of that, you've got the monthly events for your Radus and your Finalizer. Okay, but while you're going for all those capital ships, you're still going to be able to go for the smaller ships because thankfully, they have started doing the double nodes again, character and ships. If you notice, they recently put Iden Versio on the same node as the Vulture Droid. I think that's a brilliant farming node for that character. I think that is excellent. That's what the CG needs to be doing more and more and more of, is double nodes, you know, a character, not necessarily a character and the ship that goes with them, but a character and a ship on the same node. It's great for farming. It's good for the new people coming to the game because they get, 2 for 1.
Okay,
but I mean,
that's fine, Neil, but they're getting these ships. Somebody coming into the game now that doesn't have all these might see the Outrider and go, hey, this is a really cool ship. I remember that because I played Shadows of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to go for this ship.
Yeah, but
will they be able to afford it? Probably not. Okay, but
then they'll start another account. Yeah, then they'll start another account.
Just play Dream Theater with me for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Different ways of going about things in the early game is beneficial to the overall meta because it can teach you more to be more competitive later in the game when you have, as you say, all the toys. And again, we're at the point where we are probably getting Red 5, and when we do, it's going to be going with the Tantive 4. I think it's going to be a capital ship. I'm sticking with that. Even though it's not as huge as the others, they've put the Super Star Destroyer in the game for the love of Pete.
Yeah. I just think Tantive 4 would be one of the Starfighter-ish type ships, as opposed to...
It's 3 times the size, twice the size, 2.5 times the size of the Houndstooth. Yeah. And that's already pretty big.
Mm-hmm. But the Houndstooth is the most OP ship in the entire game. It's the best ship. It is. It's the best. It's the best ship. Not just the best tank. It's the best ship because it outlives everything. It does. It literally outlives everything. Han's Millennium Falcon is cool, and it's fine until it becomes the last ship when it can be targeted, and then it, goes down like pretty quick. I just think there are other things that they should be doing with fleet. They should be making the TIE Fighter, like the Vulture Droid, a summonable ship. That's what they should be doing so that you could then legitimately split down your empire between 2 capital ships, throw in some more, throw in a couple of empire ships in there, and then rework the TIE Fighter to be exactly like the Vulture Droid. And then, just have a summoning ship directly tied into the capital ship of the fleet that it is going to be on. That definitely helps things out. But this, I mean, I will have the Radus, but will I farm it? No. Because there's nothing wrong with my Rebel fleet at the moment, and I'm not going to waste resources on a ship I don't need or intend to use.
By the way, we have 6 Empire ships.
Yeah.
The Imperial TIE, the TIE Advanced, Emperor Shuttle, TIE Reaper, TIE Bomber, and then the Gauntlet Starfighter.
Mm-hmm.
So we already have 3 and 3 with no reinforcements on Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Which would
we need
go...
at least another, if we can get another 4.
Oh, I'm sorry, the TIE Interceptor is also Empire.
Yeah, TIE Interceptor.
So that is
a
full 7.
Yeah, so there's a full 7. So if we could get maybe 3 more ships, Empire ships, and then make it so that the TIE Fighter is a summonable ship, but only a summonable ship if it is underneath Thrawn or Tarkin. It's not a summonable ship if it's under any other capital ship. It's only summonable under those. And then they could do the exact same thing for the X-Wing for... They could do the exact same thing for the X-Wing for the Resistance. They could do the exact same thing for one of the TIE Fighters for the First Order. They could do it for JC. They could do it for the Jedi Consular if it's attached specifically to the Endurance.
All right. So who would be the if it was a regular ship, the Tantive 4 was a regular ship, and it was 3 crew, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Leia's obvious.
Yeah, Leia, R2, and C-3PO. 3 most obvious characters.
Oh, no.
They're the 3. They're the 3 characters that you see straight away.
Yes.
Those are the 3.
Okay, you do see them, but you're going to take away R2-D2 from Red 5 when it comes out?
Because there's no R2 units in any of the other X-Wings, and BB-8 is not in Poe Dameron's X-Wing. And BB-8 was the unit, the droid unit, the astromech for Poe Dameron's X-Wing. But you don't see him in there. You didn't see everybody going, oh my God, why isn't BB-8 in Poe Dameron's ship? It needs to be a Poe Dameron ship. Come on, that's not fair. That sucks.
No, I think that R2 should be there. I think we get a new character in just a standard Rebel pilot. Not an X-Wing pilot, but, Rebel soldier. The guys with the Schwinn bike helmets.
No one wants to spend money on a minion-type character.
But when it's that good to help break the Executor meta, people will.
You see, there you go again. I don't think that a new Rebel fleet is going to break the meta, because they even with the Executor being as OP as it is, CG keep buffing it. They keep buffing it. All right, there is nothing that you can do against an Executor if what it does is take out one of your ships immediately during the first sortie. So if you're going up against a Relic 9 PS, right, with Relic 9 fleet, it doesn't matter how good your fleet is, it's gonna get wrecked. You're gonna lose a ship immediately. And before you get to call out a reinforcement to take you back up to 3, the Executor goes up to 4. So it's 4 versus 2. It's not a winning battle unless they want to revise ships back to what it used to be before we got ships 2.0, and you start with 5. And they reduce. I mean, you used to start with 5, and you'd get 4 reinforcements. And during ships 2.0, they changed it to 3, but kept the reinforcements at 4. They could have you start with 5 with 3 reinforcements, or with just 2 reinforcements. But that might make it a little easier to try and take out an Executor. But then they'd be starting with 5 bounty hunters. But at least you'd have a better chance of taking them out than the current system, because it just the Executor is just unbeatable.
We don't know what the B-Wing does. We don't know what the A-Wing does. The B-Wing's a bomber. Yeah, no,
the B-Wing, they bring the B-Wing and the A-Wing. and it would definitely 100% help. Absolutely 100%. And I think that those two ships need to be in the game. We need the A-wing there. We need the B-wing there. And if they throw in the Tantive 4 and you've also got Red 5, then yes, at that point, I would say, give us another Rebel capital ship.
And then
makes sense.
And then they have the download ability, just like the Inquisitors are spreading around their purge. These new Rebel ships are downloading Death Star plans to beat the Executor.
Yeah, and that's fine later on. But it's no good.
They need to start somewhere.
Yes, you do have to start somewhere.
So why can't they start here now?
No, because rebels don't need any. As I've said, as I keep coming back to, there are more important factions in the game that need ships now. Rebels don't need ships right now, right this second. First Order, Resistance, Galactic Republic, and Empire need ships now, right now. We do not need rebel ships right now. In the moment, if you were to fire up the game and do GAC, the last thing that you need is another rebel ship. But if they threw any other faction at us, people would be like, well, that's great. I've got another ship for that faction. Instead, what we're getting is often, I've already got a full rebel fleet. I don't need this. It is very uninteresting for me. So, I mean, obviously, this is something that we could argue about forever, but I think that the majority of the player base is going to argue with me, not against me, that a rebel ship just isn't needed. If they made it so that this ship on the rebel fleet was a way to, with a little bit of RNG, take out an Executor, I'd be like, right, okay, that's why they brought it in. They've brought it in to kind of beat at the Executor, but they haven't. They said that they haven't. It's not there to beat the Executor. It's there to help with other tier battles. And which still doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because the rebel fleet already does that. If you've got MILF and your X-wings, and you've got your Y-wing bomber, you're doing the damage you need to do. You call Cassian's U-wing in, boom, it's all over. If you want to take out the Houndstooth for the Executor, you start with your Y-wing, you start with your Bistan, you start with your Millennium Falcon, you take out your Houndstooth. You're probably going to lose the battle, but you're not calling in the Outrider, because I've watched people try to do it and it loses every single time. Every single time.
Neil, you ready?
Mm-hmm. What?
What's happening is they're releasing it now because the next conquest reward is a rebel capital ship.
What rebel capital ship?
I'm still saying it's going to be Tantive 4. This game is not built on realism, even though somebody did say that they're trying to do realism. This game is not built in realism because you have ships like the size of Home 1 showing up the same size on your screen as the Executor, regardless.
No, I like what Wolf said. Wolf felt earlier on said they could also bring in the Hammerhead, and they could make it so that there is a, they could make it so that like in Rogue One, where it pushed one Star Destroyer into another Star Destroyer. So you could do something like that as a special for a new Rebel fleet, where it pushes one of the the special could be from the capital ship to order the Hammerhead to push one of the Star Destroyers that flies around the Super Star Destroyer and push it into it so that it blows up.
What if it doesn't blow up? What if it doesn't blow up? What if it disables the ultimate? What if it takes out the radar to call for that ultimate?
Yeah, no, it could be that as well. Yeah, just something to stop the Death Star from blowing up your capital ship. But like I said, I just think that something like that is It's not. If they had done it the other way around, I wouldn't be arguing. If they had put the Outrider instead of the TIE Interceptor in Conquest rewards, I'd have been like, yeah, because I'm probably not going to have that for months and months and months. It's useless to me. I don't need to chase after it, but I'm going to get it eventually way, way, way down the line, maybe even after we've had some more Rebel ships. Then it would be useful to go for. And the TIE Interceptor, we get like, a galactic chase or whatever. That would have been more effective, I think, because I want that ship more than I want the Outrider. And the Empire ship that is in Conquest is more useful than the Outrider. So I think that, if they'd switched that around, that probably would have been better.
But then people would have said, okay, we had Maul, we had Commander Ahsoka Tano, we had all these big names, and they already said it with, what the hell's the TIE Interceptor? I'm the only one who, essentially pretty much remembers Soontir Fel using the TIE Interceptor.
Yeah, me too. And it is a ship that I would very much like to get my hands on. It's just going to take me forever to get it. I'd rather have that than the Outrider.
It's not as marquee, and I'm not saying marquee as in the event marquee, but it's not marquee sitting, up on the... It's not being featured in ads like Boba Fett, Scion of Jango would be featured in an ad, like Ahsoka Tano, like Robolegs Maul.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Razor Crest.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tilomad, for sending 3 people over here in the raid. We appreciate it. We're going to be talking to Tilomad and Calvin Awesome in just a moment about their new podcast that they're doing. So,
well, it's ongoing because it's been around for a while now. The Awesome Mad.
They're putting it on podcast. They're officially calling it a podcast rather than a YouTube show.
Oh, so right, okay.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that
when we get them on. Yeah, absolutely.
But
yeah, this is just, to me, this is just a massive disappointment, and a massive palm in the face. It's like, you wanted ships, here's a ship. We know it's not a ship that you particularly need. I'm not talking about want or desire. I'm talking about need. We don't need a Rebel ship. We need other faction ships. And that's why I think that this is very, very, very disrespectful to the player base, because we know what we want and we know what we need, and what we need is more ships that we can use, not ships that are just going to sit and do nothing. Because I'll get this and it will sit and it will do nothing, and I won't use it, which makes it a useless ship.
Okay, do you want me to put, you know that I love to go out on comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Do I do the earworm or do I do the movie reference?
Do the movie reference. Do whatever you want. Whatever you think's funnier.
Whatever. Well, okay, I'm going to do both. For you, Neil, you're sounding like Veruca Salt to me.
Mm-hmm.
You want a golden ship, Daddy?
Oh yeah, no, there are the salt is flowing. As far as I'm concerned, the salt is flowing.
The Veruca salt is flowing with you, but everybody else is saying that they have a structured settlement and they want ships now.
Mm-hmm. Just not Rebel.
We'll see after the break.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HOTUTILS.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Back to school. The Escape Pod, cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, Podawans, and welcome back to another story time with Uncle Thad on the Escape Podcast for kids. Tonight's story time, we're actually going to jump back into Legends canon and revisit a game we haven't talked about in some months, Star Wars: Shadow of the Empire. And I know what you're thinking. Thaddeus, did your voice get sexier since the last story time? To that, I have two answers. Answer the first. This is an inappropriate question for you kids to ask me. Answer the second. Yes, it did. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Dash Rendar's ship, the Outrider, and where in canon it fits. Dash Rendar's ship, the Outrider, was a Corellian Engineering Corporation designed YT-2400 light freighter. The YT design was regarded as the highest of Corellian engineering and was used by many popular smugglers before and after the rise and fall of the Empire. Ships in this design line featured a saucer-shaped hull and were highly customizable. The 2400 model was a stock cargo hauler with a tubular cockpit. Now, that's not saying that the cockpit was especially wizard. It just had the shape of a tube. Even though the traditional YT-2400 was a stock model, the Outrider was absolutely anything but stock. The Outrider was heavily modified and was as well known as the Millennium Falcon. The saucer-shaped hull was reinforced with titanium armor. Rendar replaced the original engines with 3 Congar KGD Fender military-grade ion engines, which, of course, he stole from the Empire. To add insult to injury, Dash left the muffler off the tailpipe of the ship, so it sounded like a bantha who ate a bunch of Bacta and was about to blow his insides from one side or the other. Because of this, Rendar installed additional sensors, countermeasures, and advanced stealth package. These last mods allowed him to avoid all unnecessary detection. He was a smuggler after all. When Dash had to fight, the Outrider was more than capable of dealing with trouble, whatever direction it came from. The Outrider boasted twin Dimec heavy laser cannons, which were mounted on the dorsal and ventral turrets. These hand-modified cannons could be fired from the gunnery well or the flight deck. It also had a pair of forward-facing concussion missiles built into its tubular cockpit. Each launcher fired a magazine of 3 missiles. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 6 concussion missiles. Now, a brand new, right-off-the-line YT-2400 light freighter would run a pilot 130,000 credits. Used, Kelly Space Blue Book has it listed for as little as 32,000 credits. Or you could always steal one. That seemed like a popular choice at the time. The Outrider was not stolen, but was actually given to Rendar as a gift from his uncle Vanya. Now, it wasn't his actual uncle. It was this, Twi'lek space mob boss. It's a whole thing. Now, if all of that's not impressive, the YT freighter was instrumental in procuring and absconding with the original Death Star plans. I should probably have mentioned that before now, but where am I? And with that, let's take a look at the Outriders kit in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and see how it measures up to canon. Now, we begin by looking at its alignment and tags. The YT-2400 freighter is a light-side rebel cargo ship operated by a smuggler and scoundrel that provides support to other rebel ships. It's noteworthy that the Outrider was present at the battles of Hoth, Gaul, Coruscant, and for the raid on the Suprosa. As I mentioned earlier, many of the modifications of the Outrider were not strictly speaking legal. The cannons on its dorsal and ventral side were amongst the extra legal, beyond legal modifications that were added, and they did some serious critical damage. What's great about the Outrider's first special ability is that it doesn't fire all of its missiles at once. It only fires 5 of the potential 6 missiles. A crafty smuggler always leaves a little something in the tank in case of emergencies. Now, speaking of emergencies, the Outrider's second special ability highlighted a key component to why companies put limits on their warranties. When you start putting aftermarket products onto a stock machine, there's bound to be something that goes wrong. We saw all the time with the Millennium Falcon. We see it with the Outrider. We can safely say Dash Rendar has voided his warranty. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Outrider played an important role in stealing the plans for the Death Star. This was the critical intel needed for the Rebel Alliance to gain victory over the Empire. Now finally, the Outrider's reinforcement ability highlights what every smuggler does to their ship. I mean, would you tell people about hidden modifications or hidden compartments you've made to your office? No, of course not. No smuggler makes a list of all the changes they've made to their ship. Neither should you make a list of all the changes you've made to your office to hide things and smuggle things. But, just like a smuggler, you've probably got those things memorized. Well, that's it for me this week. Be sure to tune in next week for more story time with Uncle Thad on the Escape Podcast for Kids.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways want you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod Cast.
Attention, we are receiving an incoming transmission. Attention. Attention. We are receiving an incoming transmission.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Great guests for this week's incoming transmission. Paul, introduce our guests, please.
Yes, we have another Star Wars podcast, Galaxy of Heroes podcast on this week's show. I mean, you've probably seen both of these people creating content for years. They are some of the very, very best. We have Tilomad, who is a great mind when it comes to all of Galaxy of Heroes. And then we have Calvin Awesome, who he is the GA Center winner of Season 5 because he took his roster and did better than anyone else that we even know.
Yeah.
Even
he
better.
Is the current GA Center champion.
Even better than Loki, than Arnold, than Playbook. 26 wins?
29 wins, 7 losses.
Wins. Yeah, 29 wins, 7 losses.
Only 7 losses. You know, there was only a handful of people that actually did that. There was literally only a handful of people that did that. Calvin did it, the Playbook did it, but you kind of, Calvin and the Playbook, that you'd expect, gackers of that gravitas to lose only single digits. I mean, before the changes, it would be like losing nothing. It would be, 12-0, 12-0, 12-0. Oh God, what was that? Oh yeah, 12-0, 12-0. So it's just over and over and over and over again. I mean, Calvin Awesome went a full calendar, obviously the old system, but Calvin Awesome went a full calendar year without losing once. Not once. He did not. His record didn't get broken until the new one. And then it got broken spectacular style, didn't it, Calvin?
Yeah, it did. I was really hoping it would come in gradually. Like that would make it feel a little bit better. Like I would maybe get like a 2-1 or a 1-2 at least. But no, big ol' 0-3 right out the gate.
Yeah. It's like, just because I remember reading it. It's like, what the hell? The thing is, the weird thing is, you were the first person to do it, but now everybody else is doing it. It's like a rite of passage with the new GAC format. Everybody, myself included, has gone 0-3. Have you gone 0-3 yet, Tilo?
No, not yet. I'm holding it off.
Just wait, mate. Just let it happen.
Neil?
I had a lot of 1 and 2s, but no 3s yet.
Since
I'm like,
let's see.
Supposedly, it's better for Crystal Income if you go 0-3 and then 3-0 rather than like 1-2 and 2-1 or something like that. So I'm just gonna have to embrace it.
So Tilo, let's kind of have a side gentleman's bet over here. I have not gone 0-3 since the introduction of the new system. Let's see who lasts longer.
Oh, I'm down for that. Let's do
it. So what are the terms of this weight? We'll
figure it out. We'll figure it out and have
okay. Well, it'll have to be figured out at a later date then, will it?
Yeah. Okay. But here's the thing, guys, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are they started putting out. They've done it for a while on YouTube. They started putting out as a podcast, and it is a very, very, very damn good listen. Check out Mad Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Tilomad and Calvin Awesome. we took the roundabout way to get there to the intro, but it was damn worth it. Let's start with the standard questions, just in case people don't know who these guys are. Tilo, what's your account and do you spend?
I have a 7.2 million GP account. I'm on Kyber 1. I do spend, but only because of work. They give me gift cards. I'm like, hey, don't give me a Visa gift card. Give me an Apple gift card. That's pretty much it.
So you don't spend your own money. You spend other people's money.
Exactly.
Okay, Neil, is it punched or is it out the window?
Oh God, no, that's punched. That's like
no. Is it torn up? Is it torn up entirely or is it just punched?
No. It's punched multiple times. This is not like the person that was free to play with one punch because they got one gift card. This is a card that you don't recognize. It's a free to play card.
It's a holy card.
You just don't recognize it as a free to play card because it's been hole punched every time he spent a gift card. So it's a very holy card. Oh.
Calvin, what about you?
I've been bloating my roster quite a bit for a while now, but I'm at 7.9, awesome Kyber 1. And I am, I consider it a platinum free-to-play card. There's no type of monetization that has ever touched my account in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, so
Are you
you're like,
crapping
no.
me?
Calvin has a mint condition. 9.999999 free-to-play card. If it went on a collector site, you'd have to put it down as a 10. It would be worth an absolute fortune. So hang on a minute. Let me get this straight, right? You're 7.9, Calvin, right?
Yeah.
And Tilo, you're what, 7.2?
2. Yeah.
Oh my God. My main account is 6.7. And we were all in the same division in season 2 and in season 3. And it was because our GPs were so much closer to each other. How the hell did that happen?
I bloated pretty hard. Like every single resource that I could put out, I did. Like I had 600 Zeta mats or something like that while we were together. And then once the GA system changed, everyone got Zetas. Like I have a bunch of dumb ones now. Like Vet Han and Dengar have Zetas, which I regret because now Lord Vader's going to get 2.
Yeah, no, I did the same. I had like 200 mats, and I was like, okay, let's find 10 characters that really, that was it. Because as soon as the bloat was needed, because it was, you need the kitchen sink these days. I agree with you. I mean, I bloated, but my bloat just didn't equate to either of your two's bloat, and that's just nuts. I'm only 6.7. Right.
Well, you had all those Zetas because you were always winning. You were getting 3. Was it 3 Zetas that you got?
It was 2 in the old system.
2 in the old system. Yeah, you're getting all those Zetas. By the way, Calvin, I'm about to turn 8 million. I know that's not there. So if it was the old system, you and I might actually have a chance of seeing each other.
yeah, depending on how your matchmaking GP is or was or however that worked. But yeah, that's definitely in the same ballpark.
Yeah. But I mean, if I were to see that, the effective pants would be filled. I'm going to say that.
Here's the thing, Paul. Your skill rating is 3,330, and Calvin's is 3,896.
Yeah, we're not going to see each other again.
You're not going to see each other. You're not going to see each other.
I'm safe from you, Paul.
Yeah.
You mean I'm safe from you?
You don't need to fear him. You do not need to fear Paul, Calvin.
Oh my gosh, I'm still stunned by the fact that Calvin is free to play platinum.
Oh yeah, he has a pristine card, an absolute pristine card. But it helps being A, good, B, in a great guild, and C, getting all of those rewards from winning all the time.
Calvin, I actually do want to know what do you attribute your success to?
First of all, let's define the terms here. What do you mean by success? Like GAC, having a large count in a little time?
The fact that you're entirely free to play, you're rivaling me, who is a small dolphin. And your GAC is just that good. What tell me what steroids you're taking.
If I'm being just honest, it's just a huge time investment. Like I don't have a whole lot of time to put in the game nowadays, but for probably the first 3 or 4 years that I played the game, I lived in Brazil abroad, where my work week was only like 20 to 25 hours. And I had a lot of time to just plan out what I wanted to do, both my roster development and in my JC matches. Like I was able to, this is kind of gross saying this now with the schedule I have now, but I was able to comfortably scout an opponent for an hour back in my old situation, or like I had a bunch of spreadsheets listing out like all where my resources were coming from. So I didn't put money into the game purely, like I didn't put cash into the game, but I put a lot of time into it. I mean, every single resource there was out there, I was trying to get a hold of it, whether it was Twitch streams, or it was YouTube videos, whether it was podcasts. I just tried to soak up as much as it. And I generally enjoy it. Like none of that. I hear a lot of people talk about it, and for them, it's kind of a pain or a chore. They don't want to do it. I enjoyed every minute of it. I really, really liked it.
Preparation. Your 3 things.
Yep.
Wow. I wish I had that mind at times. Most of the time, I'm throwing things at the wall, hoping that the wall will break, and you're sitting there with a drill going through the wall.
It doesn't hurt that you've been able to keep up with the GLs either. where other people have not. It does not hurt you at all, because other you've been able to collect them relatively quickly. You've been able
so one thing actually I should say that it's wrapped up into kind of that, and what Nev you're kind of getting into now is I was able to start climbing in Squad Arena. I think this is very, very helpful, actually. I was able to start climbing in Squad Arena. I was actually very late to my arena. I took a 2-year break, so my arena was very old, but I was able to claw my way up through the Darth Revan meta. I was actually used Rebels and Thrawn to climb up during that, and that really revolutionized my roster because I was finally, when SLKR came out, I was able to get him within a month or 2 or 3. I remember which one exactly, but the new system of GLs, especially the old GAC system, was really nice because you only had to get one to be relevant. That was really, really great. It was different from the old system where you kind of had to have everything. You just needed to have one of them and you were fine. So Squad Arena is definitely has to do with part of the success, at least with the roster progression.
Because if you're picking up 400 crystals every single day, you have the resources to do multiple refreshes for your farming, not just for mods, but on Cantina and on your light and your dark side.
All three every day. All three
exactly.
Every day.
You're able to do all 3 every single day, which means you're a lot faster and 3 times ahead of all of the free-to-play that aren't able to do all 3 every single day. So you've got a 3 times advantage over, someone like me who wasn't getting anywhere near the same crystal income as you were. I mean, sure, I was getting Fleet, but you were probably getting Fleet and Squad Arena at the same time, plus all of your rewards from GAC. So you'd have been making out like gangbusters. Whereas most free to play, I mean, I made all of my stuff from GAC and from Squad Arena from Fleet Arena. So secret to, and the thing is, the secret to your success, even though it's out and it's open, nobody else can follow that now because Squad Arena is irrelevant.
Yeah. Now the secret is to claw your way through GAC, which I don't know how you do that without spending. That is actually an interesting conundrum. I don't know if there's pros and cons to both too, because the Squad Arena that I had to climb through was Darth Revan. Now the Squad Arena that new players have to climb up through is SLKR. Like that sucks, or it did at least in the old system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just GLs all the way down.
Let's also point out here that Tilomad didn't do so bad himself. 7th place.
Tilo got 7th. Yeah.
7th place. Division ranking throughout the world, 3,228. Calvin Awesome sitting at 717. So, Tilo, you're no slouch either. I was just floored by the whole free to play thing with Calvin.
That's amazing.
What do you attribute to your success? What's your secret sauce without telling everybody the ingredients?
Mine is basically I watch everybody. I may not say anything in the comments, but I'm watching. I'm trying to soak in as much information as possible. I always say this, Kobe Bryant was my favorite player in the NBA and probably any athlete ever. But one of the things that he always emphasized was look at the film room. And that's what I do. I go into Twitch, I go onto YouTube. If I'm at work, I'm listening to podcasts, learning new tricks, new information, and try to apply it in my own roster.
It's very nice.
The great words. I mean,
yeah, but it's got to feel nice to. I mean, here's the thing. It sounds a lot when you say it out loud. Ranked 3,228 in the world, but when we know that there are roughly 500,000 people that are active in GAC, that's a lot of people playing GAC, and you are in the top 10,000. So you are in.
That's top 1%.
You are in the top 1% globally at GAC.
How about I put it like this, Neil? This is going to show how good Tilo is. There's only one other person other than Tilo that Everybody else's skill rating was way up there. Calvin Awesome's initial skill rating when he was slotted into the new system was 3344. Tilo said, hold my beer, with a 3253. When the game initially slotted everyone, his skill rating differential is enormous compared to everybody else's. Senator Fredo is the only other one, and he essentially went 0-3 in a round if he was up against Tilomad. 26 wins compared to Fredo's 24.
Mm-hmm. And they've got some competition. They've definitely got some competition heading their way. An old rival of Calvin's, a content creator from Europe.
Are we doing an announcement of new members of GA Center?
I mean, we'll talk about the new. We have some new people coming to GA Center for season 6. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 7 new people coming. Well, 6 new people and 1 person coming out of retirement.
Who's coming out of retirement? Let's get
Ringer's coming out of retirement. And the new people are Celiac Sarah, still plays. It's the Mary J, Helvir, was it Mini Luke Skywalker, and Skeltrix.
Holy!
But Helvir is a name that both Tilo and Calvin recognize because you guys have fought him before, haven't you?
So Tilo had actually. You want to explain it? It's your thing.
I haven't run it in a while, but we used to run a tournament on the Discord, similar to the GAC Center, but just basically for everybody. It was an open invitation. And we would crown winners based on records, based on the penalty system that we had. And Helver and Calvin were some of the most infamous winners of that tournament. I believe Calvin had maybe about like 6 or 7 trophies to his name, and still on the Discord. You can take a count out. It's pretty impressive. But Helver was up there too. I want to say he had like 3, 4, maybe even 5 too. So these guys were pretty disgusting when it came to the tournament.
I mean, he does have a skill rating that definitely puts him up there in the top 1%. He's got a skill rating of 3,804 at the moment. So yeah, he's definitely somebody that's going to be in that top table competing against the likes of U2, because obviously U2 finished the season in the top table. He is somebody that could potentially finish in the top table. So, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
One thing I do want to point out here is 2 of our Patreons would have been skill rating wise in the top 15 of GA Center. Hot Sauce, you guys know HotUtils.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. JoJo. Dr. JoJo's skill rating comes in at 3908. So he's no slouch.
If you're knocking on the door of 4,000, you're one of the elite. You are one of the elite. If you're knocking on the 4K door, you are definitely one of the elites. And both of you guys are knocking on the 4K door.
Yeah, it's going to be one hell of a season. So, let's get to the matter at hand here, because we've talked GAC, we've talked your accounts, but we brought you on because I want people to know about the whole Mad Awesome show. You know, how did it start?
I'll take this one. So I basically hit Calvin up. Calvin was coming up on YouTube. He was coming up on Twitch as well. And same situation as me. We kind of started our accounts a similar time, creation around the same time as well. I asked him if we wanted to do a show, and he agreed, which was cool. And we've been doing it ever since.
What was the reason that you said yes, Calvin? What did Tilo bring to the table that, you know, that others didn't?
So there's lots to like about Tilo. Number one, he's a good GAC player. He's really into the game. He's very positive. That was kind of the overall. That was a big winner. But really, kind of what sold me and what interested me the most is just how much he knows about lore. because that's really one of the things that we try to put into our podcast that I think might be a little bit different from other like SWGOH podcasts. Is we really try to work in some different factors of like what is going on in the Star Wars world at large. Like we did a whole video on Visions. We've talked about the Kenobi trailer. We've gone over several stuff, and that kind of stuff, not just from a content perspective, but just like I get enjoyment out of that. Like I enjoy talking Star Wars with Tilo.
And it just came through. Lizzie Jonko, thank you for the sub with Prime. We really appreciate that. The lore, having somebody that knows the whole lore and canon things. I mean, partial why I picked Nev to pick up the co-host duty, because his knowledge of Legends is uncanny. And I myself, I'm sitting here with the Thrawn books and all the new canon, so I've got all the knowledge of those. But Neil's a near encyclopedia, so I totally understand getting somebody that knows the lore, especially somebody that has a dismembered Tusken head in their background. Tilo,
I put it on every once in a while. It's fun.
So for those that don't know what your show is about, or are interested but want a little bit of more information on what it is, what can people expect when they tune in to this mad awesome show? Calvin.
Okay.
Let's try to see.
You can expect to learn something. You can expect to learn something. There's something about Star Wars, something about us, something about GAC or the game in general. That's really our goal. And that's not just through quote unquote success, but that's through failures. Like one of the big highlights that we always used to do in our show was talk about, all right, what was your biggest mistake this season? Like what did you do that if you could take it back, whether it was like placing a certain defensive team down, whether it was modding a character a certain way? That's really what our aim is, or our aim was as a show, was to try to put out something that was going to be helpful for people, whether it be through something that we managed to do or something that we didn't manage to do. So yeah, that's what I say you should expect. So you'll be able to learn something.
What's your answer to that, Tilo?
I think Calvin hit it on the head right there. What we want to really do is, through our experience, and we cover our own GAC weeks, we talk about them, what went wrong, what went right. We don't try to hide the negative, because it is what it is. We're streaming it. People see it to begin with, and we're going to talk about it. That way we can talk to each other. And I've learned so much from Calvin and things he's messed up on. I hope he's learned from my mistakes, which I do a lot of mistakes, as Neb knows, covering us in the GAC Center. but it's always good. And then we try to be as entertaining as possible. And like Calvin said, also, we try to get in a little bit twist in there, some speculation, talking about the lore, talking about things that could come to the game as well, which makes it for a fun time.
When's your next episode dropping?
Monday, and we're going to do it live at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Calvin's channel. And then the podcast will be the day after.
Calvin's Twitch, and of course the 24-hour. Actually, here's the fun thing. YouTube has to wait for 24 hours. You can post the audio right away. I found that out from Twitch. I purposely said, I'm not posting video of this anywhere. Can I post the audio? And they're like, you signed exclusivity for video. So there we go.
There you go.
So Calvin, elevator pitch for people to tune in.
Elevator pitch?
Don't know the elevator pitch terminology. You get into an elevator, you have to sell somebody something while you're in the ride on the elevator. So 90 seconds on why to tune into the Mad Awesome Show.
Do you like JC? Do you like listening to podcasts? Do you like Star Wars lore in general? Do you not hate Calvin and Tilo? Those are all great reasons. Those are all great reasons to tune into the show. If you can catch it live, I personally, I'm really big on podcasts. I love just having something either to commute or when I'm doing kind of busy work, just to have it in the background to see if anything perks my ear. I just love listening to them.
Tilo, I just got in the elevator. Why should I listen?
I'm going to throw it to my co-host. If you want to learn from somebody that's extremely well in GAC, you got to listen to our show. We're talking about probably pound for pound the best GAC player in the game. And you got an average person like me asking some dumb questions that you would probably ask. So it's a fun time. So definitely take a listen to it.
So Tilo, you're the me of the Mad Awesome show. I get it.
Yes.
All right, Nev.
I'll take it.
Nev, any final questions for our guys?
No, let's let these gentlemen get off.
All right. How do we find you?
I am Calvin_awesome on Twitch, or just Calvin Awesome on YouTube. I do have some modding videos going out there. I've got another one coming out in 2 days. And then, yeah, you can catch us on iTunes or Spotify, and I'll let Tilo take that part.
Yeah, you could just type in the Mad Awesome Show on iTunes and Spotify for the podcast. And like I said earlier, Calvin's channel on Twitch is going to be where we do it live if you want to interact with us and be a part of the show. And for me personally, you can check me out on YouTube. I've been posting daily content, so it's just Tilo space Mad92. And on Twitch, it's Tilo_Mad92, and TikTok as well.
Swaga TikToks?
Yes, sir.
All right. You might be my first Swaga follow.
It's a new thing. I've been very intrigued by it.
Yeah, we're old man yells at sky. I'm just gonna say that much. All right, guys. Mainly, thank you, Calvin. Thank you, Tilo, for showing up. For letting us tell people about this awesome podcast. Guys, go check it out, and also check out a brand new episode of Dickie and the Noob coming up in this break right here on the Escape Pod cast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Previously on Dickie and the Noob. Dickie and Yarmo played around in Noob's memory banks and found out the location of Hondo's shipping company on the planet Stewjon. Buried deep in Noob's subconscious were the memories of his arch nemesis, the assassin droid Roger.
So, Dickie, how exactly did you get a lead to this place?
We pulled it from the ship's data logs. Yarbo was able to repair them. Seems like the ship spent a lot of time here.
You know, I've always wanted to come here. Obi-Wan Kenobi has always been my favorite Jedi.
You really believe in those old fairy tales?
Fairy tales? I assure you the Jedi were real.
Yeah, wizards with laser swords, right, Noob?
It was only like 15 years ago. You were in your 20s when they were essentially the Galactic Police. I don't understand why you would doubt their existence.
We can discuss this later, but right now we need to find Onaka shipping. It's supposed to be by Lake Kenobi.
Well, it's safe to say no one has been here in a while. This place looks like a bantha took a big old dump all over it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's been here for a while, but it could be the perfect cover for a hideout. Think of it, not even looters would bother with this place.
Fair. So, why are we bothering?
There's supposed to be a secret safe house in the basement. It's kind of like a panic room. There's a chance Hondo is hiding in there.
Oh man, this place smells worse on the inside. It's been abandoned for a long time. It smells like a teenager's room.
Seriously?
Did I offend teenagers?
No, I just never knew you could smell. Why would a droid need to smell things?
Trust me, you meatbags make me wish that I could not.
I can probably get Yarmo to fix that for you. I'm sure he can shut it off.
No more messing with my programming. I'm feeling really weird these days. I'm not really sure Yarmo is as good with droids as you claim he is.
Yarmo is great. He came very highly regarded. He hosts the 4th most popular podcast on droid programming in the galaxy. I'm sure he'd be number 1 if people understood what he was saying.
Protocol 688 activated. Proximity alert. Unit R0G3R in proximity. Wait.
What's happening?
This sounds bad. I think this droid may have been left behind to protect something. Maybe we should get out of here.
How do you know about this? And what is a Roger?
Hold it right there.
You're Roger?
R0G3R. Assassin droid, security droid. Specialty in one-shotting everything, including galactic legends. Death awaits all who cross it.
Did I just answer my own question? One-shotting galactic legends. That ain't us. Let's get out of here.
I is Roger. Who is you? Roger.
My name is Dickie. This is my droid newbie. Look, we're only here to locate Hondo Onaka. We're messengers. You wouldn't shoot a messenger, would you?
I is instructed to terminate all trespassers. Roger. You is trespasser. Roger.
Dickie, let's just go.
No B. You is in 00B. Roger. Instructions is to terminate on site. Roger.
Ouch?
Are you okay, noob?
Yeah, that barely scratched my paint.
That kinda tickled. What gives? I thought you were supposed to be a killer.
I used to is Roger, but I could kill galactic legends, so I is nerfed. Roger.
Oh, thank God, so you're useless now. Alright, noob, let's go to the basement. That's where the panic room is supposed to be.
Please do not, Roger. I is tasked with protecting the child, Roger.
Child? Is this Hondo's child? Is Hondo's child down there?
Too much I is said, Roger.
Look, we're not here to hurt anyone. We're tasked with finding Hondo for a unique business opportunity. I swear we're here for good.
Oh, thank the motherboard, Roger. Roger is not equipped to take care of a child. My circuits is tired, Roger. I is made to kill, not babysit, Roger.
Wait, you want us to take the child with us?
Why do I sense we've picked up another pathetic life form?
Noob, isn't anything in your protocols about politeness?
I'm sorry. We are in a rundown dump in front of a rundown, nerfed-out droid who is seemingly given up on life. Who am I offending?
I isn't given up. Yes, I is, Roger. Please take this child off my hands. I'll go get it.
Look, noob, we can't leave a child here to be taken care of by an assassin droid. It looks like we're gonna become parents.
Oh boy. Do we know any more about taking care of a child? We're going around cavorting with the worst scum and villainy in the galaxy with a child in tow? This seems so cliche.
Look, I'm not saying we're gonna raise a kid, but we can bring it back to its people. We can find it a better home than it has here.
It's people. We're going to leave a child with pirates.
Let's just give it a shot, noob. There's something about a bounty hunter taking a child under his charge. I think this could be gold for ratings.
Come on now and meet your new caretakers, little one.
Will we meet baby Hondo? Find out on the next Dickie and the Noob.
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the final segment where we answer a bunch of questions in Patreon's Choice. It's been a good show. We had a couple of good guests on, didn't we, Paul?
Amazing show. You're still wrong. I will fight you to the death over this, that it's setting up for something and we just need to be patient.
Yeah, well, it's still...
I know, you think it sucks.
It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Like it could not possibly suck more.
All right, let's get into the Patreon's choice questions. If you are a Patreon, you could throw them in the Discord channel that you have access to. If you're not, you could spend channel points, and we'll add that question to the list. Zaz, as always, has given us a small list. Question number 1. Who, in your opinion, is the most important non-Force user in the Star Wars story? For example, whose actions and decisions could have changed the outcome massively?
I'm gonna say the deck officer on Vader's Star Destroyer after capturing the Tantive 4 in A New Hope, because that deck officer told the gunner not to shoot at the escape pod. And if he had just said, yep, shoot it, destroy it, it would have been a completely different story.
I'm gonna go with not Palpatine. Tarkin. Tarkin, non-Force user, gave the command to blow up Alderaan.
So what? If he hadn't given the command, it would have been a completely different story.
It would have been a completely different story because, when they got to where Alderaan was, it would have still been there. They could have been on it when it got blown up.
Oh, okay. I used to think it was I think R5D2, the red astromech droid,
but
from
it
A New
has
Hope.
the Force.
but he was a force sensitive droid. he literally committed suicide in order to ensure that R2D2 and C3PO stayed together.
Yeah,
that's a little legends for you.
When do you think CG will introduce vehicles, if at all, and what would you like to see?
Never. But I'd love never. But I'd love to. I'd love to have an AT-AT and take an AT-AT into battle. I think it would be a lot of fun. I just don't think that they're ever going to do it.
So I would go with the. I think. When do I think they'll introduce vehicles? Probably during the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary. That's when I think we get that. And I would like to be able to command a bunch of the Separatist droid tanks. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head right now, but the ones that they had to roll the Boombas to destroy. I would love
I know what you're talking about.
A battalion of those tanks. Predictions for the next non-Force user galactic legend.
Thrawn.
I think Thrawn can use the Force in a way that he does not know.
He's not a Force user. He's just a very, very smart, intelligent person. That's just his entire species.
So the entire species, Chiss females in the new canon, Chiss females at a young age are called Skywalkers if they can use what they call third sight, which is using the Force to be able to navigate hyperspace at a accelerated rate.
Okay.
I think Thrawn, because his sister was a Skywalker, Thrawn, the family line, may have him have a small bit of Force.
Yeah, that would just ruin the character. There's
he might
no
have
need
the
for
premonition ability.
No, it just doesn't need it. He doesn't. He studies.
I agree. He doesn't need it.
He studies his opponent.
He does. He
studies his opponent. He uses his brains, his smarts, his intelligence throwing the force at him, it's an excuse for lazy writing. Oh, we need Thrawn to do this. Well, if we just make him force use, then we can make him do that. Oh, let's make him do this. Oh, well, yeah, force. It's, throwing the force into a character. It does nothing but give the potential for lazy writing. Yeah. Oh, someone's injured. I'll just lay my hands on them and miraculously heal them, whatever.
But who do I think could be a non-force using GL? You say Thrawn. I was going to say Thrawn. I got to come up with somebody different, and I'm going to say Porkins. All right. Where the next question is, where's Hellenix? I miss him. We miss him too. And Hellenix,
he is enjoying a well-earned, well-deserved break.
Yep.
That's where he is.
And every once in a while, he is listening. So, Hellenix, that question came from Zaz, so you can DM him. And we do miss you as well. All right. If you could create a completely new game mode for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, what would it be and how would it work?
Oh, well, I mean, I want a GAC challenge mode. And but the way it completely would work
new.
Is
completely new.
It is completely. It would be a completely new, because a Grand Arena challenge mode would allow two people to compete using the Grand Arena format in whatever way they saw fit. So they could do 5v5, 3v3, 3v3 with ships, 5v5 with ships. They wouldn't have to do 100. They could just do, let's test these two teams against each other. So they would just put one, the ability to, it would be like a sandbox mode for two people that wanted to compete against each other. But it could literally be, I've just got this relic team. I want to test it against X, Y, and Z. Should we do a challenge? So that would be the game mode, Grand Arena challenge mode, to allow two people to, one person to challenge another, the other person to accept it, and then they have to do a speed GAC. The timer is set, the clock is set, it runs out, 30 minutes to set defense, and then 30 minutes to do offense.
For me, it would be competitive PvE. You get matched with a guild that completes about the same. And like, for example, if it was a raid, you would be matched with another guild to complete the Rancor challenge mode in a certain amount of time. If you're a lower guild, you would compete against the Sith Triumvirate raid. But seeing who can clear it first gets a little bit extra in their boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So, ability to challenge persons on your friends list, Zaz says.
Well, yeah, no, not just your friend, just if you have an ally code. That's how. So I did a very, very elaborate video on this a while back. And I did mock-ups using screenshots of exactly what would happen. So you would type in the ally code of the person that you're looking for. That would then bring up their account, and you would select their account and put a challenge out to them. So they would get that in their mailbox. You've been challenged to a Grand Arena match by so-and-so, and you either gets accepted or not. It's going to be accepted because the two people that want to compete against each other are all going to be talking on Discord or, using some kind of social media. It's not going to be like random people challenging random people, except for maybe perhaps the upper echelon content community. So, people like The Playbook and Arnold and people that are in the top 100 would probably, those people would more than likely be getting challenges left, right, and center. But ultimately, you're only going to accept a challenge from someone So you could literally find anybody in your fight list. You just find their ally code, type it in, and push it out for the challenge. And then once the challenge is accepted, you decide what format you want it to be, whether you want 5v5 or 3v3, and boom, that's it. As soon as it's been accepted, and as soon as the challenge has been laid out and accepted, a speed GAC clock starts. So you've got 30 minutes to set your defense. And then once that 30 minutes is up, the offense period starts, and boom, you just go at it. Maybe not speed GAC, maybe an hour and an hour. And that way, you know, a live match, you could go backwards and forwards. But
I just don't know if I want to spend an hour sitting there playing the game because somebody challenged me. I don't, you know.
Well, you don't have to accept the challenge.
I know, but spending an entire hour sitting there with my phone playing a game?
Yeah, that's you. But we know full well that organic matches that occur between content creators are extremely enjoyable to watch. Like really enjoyable.
I'm not discounting that, but I just don't think that it's feasible in the case of the layman. Yeah, they're enjoyable to watch, but is everybody going to use this, or is this only something for content creators?
No, it's what it is. It's only something. I think it would be initially start out as something that is only for people that do GAC. We know that there are 500,000 active people doing GAC, but we also know that there's a small percentage of that don't actually, they join, but they don't participate. So let's whittle that. Worst case scenario, there's 400,000 people actively playing, right? Now, if you have a friend, or even if you've lost to somebody, you know, it could be, oh, I lost to you. I don't think I should have lost to you. I want to challenge you to a rematch, or friends playing each other, or guildmates playing each other, or, oh, I've got this new defensive line out. I want to test it. Attack me and see what happens. You know, I want to know what I need to do to team X and team Y in order to steal more banners. You know, so it's not just for funsies. It would also be an excellent tactical and strategic tool for the hardcore K1 players who want to know how effective certain defensive teams are. Because you can start a challenge and you can ask do not go soft, go absolutely balls out. I want to know how my defense is. And then you swing the pendulum. It's like, right, I've got a new offensive lineup. I want to test it. I want you to put down, you know, you could ask a friend to put down their toughest defense so that you can test your new offense. And with that type of a game mode available, I do genuinely think that might draw more people in to play Grand Arena Championship more competitively, because they'll, you know, people just constantly getting their ass handed to them and beaten all the time, and they're like, yeah, right, fine, I'm done, I'm just going to keep losing, I'm done. They could have a couple of challenges with friends, you know, build up some confidence. Oh, right, okay, so that team's doing well, I need to work more on that, so I do think something like that, it would start off as a novelty for content creators. Absolutely, 100%, something like that. It would have that novelty feel during its first few months of being rolled out. Friends playing friends, guildmates playing guildmates, content creators playing content creators. But as it settled down and it lost its shine, then people would be using it for a sandbox type area, testing offensive teams against strong opposition and testing defenses that they've put together.
Zaz says, what about a personal GAC where the combatants wager 100 of their crystals to the winner? That would be exploited too quickly.
Yeah, no, it can't be for anything like, it can't be for anything like crystals or zetas or resources, because CG and people that argue devil's advocate will argue that to me it's a flawed argument, because what they're saying is we can't do that because the exception to the rule, exploitation, would occur. And it's like, well, yeah, of course it's going to occur, but it's still an exception to the rule. It's not something that everybody would be doing all the time, 100% of the time.
Yeah.
It's something that a very, very small percentage of the player base would do infrequently.
Right.
But even though it's an exception to the rule, CG would be like, yeah, well, no, we're not doing that because this will happen. you know, and it's like, well, cheating happens. You haven't, you know, that doesn't mean all of us, oh, cheating happens, let's stop GAC because cheating occurs. So we're not going to do Grand Arena Championship anymore because there are exceptions to the rule and people cheat. So that's why I say that the argument is flawed. You would not argue, let's not do GAC because there are people that cheat, just as you shouldn't use the argument, well, it will be exploited by a certain number of people, so let's not do that. Although I wouldn't want it to be there anyway because it would take away from the fun element. Maybe you could make it as an option. You know, you can, if you want, play for 100 crystals, and it's limited to 100 crystals. Then it's less likely to be exploited because nobody is going to spend 2 hours, because you'd get an hour to set your defense and an hour to do your offense. No one's going to waste 2 hours every 2 hours in order to exploit 100 crystals from another account. Hey, I got 100 crystals that 2 hours, another 100. It just, yeah, that people would get bored very, very quickly doing that, I think.
We would hope. What do you got coming up on our channel?
More GAC. I have a my last opponent. I kind of, they were beatable. I could have beat. They were, yeah. They had 3 GLs.
I saw it.
They had 3 GLs. I could have won if I'd used. There was only 2 ways. It was 2 ways. It was go for the 2 territory strategy, or go completely weak on the ground because I knew they weren't going to take out my fleets, and then hopefully be able to do a full clear. And they put down 2 GLs on defense and kept their JML. So if I had just put my 4 best teams in front of door number 2, they wouldn't have had the minerals to clear it. They would have only got 1 territory, and I didn't need any of my A teams to beat their, what was it, the 4 teams in front of door number 1, and I absolutely annihilated their 3 fleets, 3 one-shots. So yeah, it was easy.
Swampgrass, I'll give you a question. You've been around for a while. Serious question. I moved to Kyber 4, skipping Kyber 5, of course, because of the promotion of the end of the season. Lost now. I am in Kyber 5 fighting Kyber 4 opponents for Kyber 5 rewards. What do we think of this? You may very well bounce back to Kyber 4 before the end of it, and you will start getting, you'll get Kyber 4 stuff in there.
Yeah.
It all comes down to that they have moved relegation and promotion within the week, instead of waiting till the end of the week.
Yeah, so it's going to happen. So if you lost and got relegated, in order to get promoted straight back, all you have to do is win your next round, so that you get the 42. Because you lost, so it's minus 42. That got you relegated. You get the win. You get the 42. You go straight back up. I think it's kind of silly. I hope that they revert, because I just don't see the point in relegation and promotion every single round or every single month. I think doing it at the end of every week is an equitable medium. So if you have a bad week, you're going to get relegated anyway. But if you have a good week or an average week, you're just going to remain in the division that you're in. So yeah. It kind of, what it ends up happening is, so you lose the first one, so you go down. You win your next one, you go back up. You lose your next one, you go back down. So instead of going down, up, down, just stick with it being the weeks. At the end of the week, you would have been relegated. Yep. So yeah, that way you get the rewards for the division that you were in for the week, not for the division that you were in round 1 and then round 2, and then it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that's dumb, Swampgrass, and I really, really do hope that they look at that and go, yeah, let's revert it. Let's reverse that
to
QOL,
the weekly
because
instead
it's not
of
really
the daily.
A good QOL.
It is not. I wholeheartedly agree. So extra bonus Patreon's question there. So coming up on Vault 37 Studios, for those who weren't there, Christy and I did finish our run of all the Lego games to 100% in release order, just in time for Skywalker Saga, and we're having a hell of a lot of fun playing Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
Everybody's playing. I'm seeing so many people play that game. Even AP Games is playing it. It's quite funny. He doesn't take playing it. He doesn't take playing that game as seriously as you take playing that game.
We're relaxing with this one. We're not going balls to the wall to try to get it done as soon as possible.
Oh, all right.
We're relaxing now that we're caught up. So
but AP Games is just climbing onto roofs and jumping from roof to roof just so that he can say Parker, 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 Parker. Oh, wait a minute. Let's just jump. So he's just like being silly playing the game.
I do that in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. All right. So we would love to see some of you guys out on Vault 37 Studios. We're going to probably stream all day Sunday. Would love to see you out on the Twitch channel for that. And then also check out Neil's GACs, which I'm going to update the stream information as soon as we go off the air, so you won't get an alert that we're doing the podcast in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
So, yes, Dark Phoenix Sniper says I can directly say hi to you since I got the bot fixed finally. Yes, check out SWGOH Sheets. The link is in the description and all that stuff. They did get the bot fixed, so you can now send your territory battle assignments directly to people. It's wonderful. All right. We're going to raid into Reality Skew Gamers who has Kate Gaming and the Llama on.
Yes, they're having a pizza party.
And they're having a pizza party. So enjoy that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching, for those watching the live version. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Once again, thank you to Lizzie Jonko for becoming a Patreon again during the show. So we get to thank you live on that one. Already added you to the crawl at the bottom. Until next time, remember, be nice to each other, damn it. Neil?
Push the button.
Don't mind if I do.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! Ended. Escape pod. Close down the circuit. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship. Where is it? Where is it? It's gotta be here. Out of order. Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6? What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.